Around with Jim Carty, and I'm here with David Foster of the Mohegan Suns, a.k.a. Shaboo All Stars. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good. How are you this evening?
I'm all right. And you're getting back together with your old pal Matt Guitar Murphy for this show at the Blue Ocean Music Hall, I hear.
I am. We've done a whole run through the month. We went down and played a weekend in New Jersey, and then we were up in Maine last week at the Freiburg Fair, and we had a Connecticut play last Saturday, and then we've got the Salisbury gig coming up this Saturday. We're looking forward to the Ocean Mist gig, and it's really nice to play with Matt again. We played together 30 years ago, and we built the Shaboo All Stars with Matt Murphy.
Right.
It was really an amazing, time for us in our lives because, it was right after the Blues Brothers movie. The timing for us to work together was, it couldn't have been better. And then we got to play the whole country together as the Shaboo All Stars. We played all over the nation. And then we did some stuff in Canada and in Europe, and we were getting a lot of acclaim because he was so red hot, and we had such an amazing first incarnation. People from the Steve Miller Band and Blood, Sweat and Tears and Gloria Gaynor's band, and so we were getting written up in the New York Post every day, and back in 1980, and the Stones were coming to play with us. There was lots of good things happening, And, we really, really had fun. We played the whole United States. We went down to New Orleans. Everywhere. We played Memphis. We just had a ball for 2 straight years with that aggregation. And then, we were exhausted, and we wanted to take a break. And so that was pretty much, Matt wanted to keep going, so he just went out as Matt Murphy after that. So it was just a quick, fleeting 2 years of, amazing fun. And then we've always stayed friends. Like I, eventually went out and sang with Matt's band, and then he'd come back and sing with my band.
Yeah.
So it never stopped over the 30 years. It's just that, for the last 6 or 7 years, Matt hasn't played anywhere because he had suffered a stroke, about 5 or 6 years ago, and then had to fight his way back. And now it's playing again, and he's sounding great again, and it's just so nice to reacquaint ourselves and play music together. So he's having a ball, we're having a ball, and it's really neat because he hasn't been up north here in the Boston area. He used to live in Burlington.
Right. I the last time I saw him in person was at M&M Liquors in Medford. He was all excited. I was wearing a Ronnie Earl T-shirt, and he comes up to me. He's like, "You like that guy?" "Yeah, he's pretty good." And we were on the way to see George Thorogood at Hampton Beach, and he's like, "I play with both those guys. I'm better than they are."
Oh, yeah, it sounds just like that.
Yeah, and then he told me he had just come from the driving range where he had won several $100s off of some of his very good buddies, whooping them and shooting golf balls.
Oh yeah, he used to have a story every night. Like, I played golf today, lefty, and I won a lot of money. All my friends are angry with me. They'd start laughing, and I'd just, But he used to do that with us. Like, we'd play a show till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we'd stay up for a couple more hours, and and we forgot that we'd promised Matt that we were going to tee off with him the next morning at 8 o'clock.
And he'd clean your clock, would he?
Well, not only did he clean our clock, he was banging on the door at 7:30, going, "Lefty, time to play golf. What are you doing in bed?" Then the drummer and I would fly out of bed and throw our clothes on, and then he'd jump in his car and we'd go over and play 18 holes, and then come back, and we were exhausted because we never really slept.
Right.
And then we'd have to go back to the bandstand, that Saturday night because it was a 2-nighter or something, and then try to drill the place one more time, and we're looking for coffee, we're doing anything.
But those guys from that era, they have just an inexhaustible energy. Yeah,
we were kids.
Yeah,
we were kids. Matt was in his 50s then.
Yeah, I remember.
We were kids. We were like 20-something years old, so we were like peaking. We were, so we'd get the second wind and we could pull it off. Now it's like if we ever tried to do that, we'd have to be taken to the hospital.
I don't believe it. So tell me what the Shaboo All Stars morphed into the Mohegan Sun All Stars, thanks to the casino there. And
that happened about 10 years ago.
Yep.
The Shaboo was very close to Mohegan Sun, so all the Mohegan Indians, before they had a casino, they used to hang out in my club. I used to own the Shaboo.
Right, and you just had the 40th anniversary celebration this summer, which I was dying to go to.
Yeah.
Cotton and Tom Holland were just bugging me to go, and then Elvin Bishop played on my honeymoon. We got Magic Slim to sit in with Elvin on our honeymoon, and
oh wow!
So I really wanted to see Elvin with my wife, but we just couldn't get away that weekend, as I recall.
Oh, what a shame! Yeah, Elvin was fabulous, and then he ended up jamming, playing with us. And Kai put Cotton's band on, so I mean, because he was like the godfather of Shaboo.
Yeah.
He made the double live album there and all the other stuff. So I mean, it was a beautiful party, and we gave all the money to our hospital to build a cancer room. So we raised all the money for, and thousands of people came. It was fabulous,
Oh, that's great, and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so
yeah,
great thing to earmark the money for.
Exactly. So I mean, it was just we had lovely weather, and it was just a fabulous day, and we just loved every minute of it. So I'm sorry you missed that one. You would have loved that one.
Oh, I know I would have. Yeah. So are you still producing shows elsewhere, or just pretty much performing now, or?
Well, what I did is I built a production company. So I have like 3 careers in the music business. I've always sang.
It takes 3 to make 1 living, doesn't it?
Well, I just didn't do them all at the same time. I did 2 I always did 2.
Yep.
Because it was never, one was never good enough to live right. I always had to work double.
Yeah.
So I could afford to have like health care, and then maybe
all those extras.
Think about getting married and having somebody stay with me. Have a house, So I mean, but I mean, I had the club for 11 years.
Yeah.
And I sang through most of that time as well. And then when the club closed, I went to a booking agency and booked and sang. And then I started building my production company about 5 years into that booking agency job. Mm-hmm. And built a musical instrument company where I lease instruments to theaters and casinos and promoters, and it became a very, very, very good, successful, strong business. And I take care of the entire state of Connecticut and Western Mass. But it's the music business, so I kept my fingers and my hands in it, and I always kept singing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was good. I mean, it was really good to because it helped me build my band. I stopped doing foolish work, and it gave me a chance to elevate my music and elevate the band and put us into a different level.
Yeah, you have to do that, don't you?
That I'm very thankful for,
Yeah, man. So tell me, of all the fabulous people you've worked with over the years, can you recount 1 or 2 really special moments on stage and people that, we know you've worked a lot with Matt, but you've worked with everybody. I mean...
Oh, God, I mean, I sang with Muddy.
Wow.
When he used to come to my club, and I'd sing with Willie Dixon, and I sang with Freddie King, and I sang with Cotton, and I sang with BB 30 years ago in the theaters. I used to open for BB. I used to do 50 cities a year with BB and open.
Nice.
That'd be the opening act. And he was starting to call me his pale son. He used to also play my club, when I was really little.
Yeah.
And, he really, he was very, very sweet and kind to me. And believed in me. And he used to, he used to say to his bookers, put David on my dates. I want him to open the dates, And then, so they started, his agency actually booked me, and I just go out and do 10 or 15 cities with BB, and I was just the opener. So many, many nights with BB, and then I did a Stevie Ray Vaughan tour when the Double Trouble album came out.
Sweet.
Harvey Brooks was playing with me, so I was very, very lucky, from all that Shaboo history, where, we were really well taken care of, and introduced, to the country. I had a couple of bad, luck things where I made my first record in L.A., and Paul Rothschild was my producer, and as soon as he finished making my record, he got pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
And 5 weeks after I finished recording, he was dead. So then my masters, which he was in control of, got tied up in his estate for 22 years.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what happened. And that's why I never, I never got. That was my shot. That album. I had the Phoenix horns with me, the Earth, Wind, and Fire horns, and that became the Phil Collins horn section. They made my record with me, with Michael Finnegan on organ and Cal David playing guitar and Harvey Brooks on bass. And I had the greatest guys in the business on this record. And I ended up calling it the Lost LA Sessions because it never came out because of this situation with Rothschild dying of cancer.
That's insane.
It was what it really was because it was pop blues. There was hits on this record, and it was a situation where it really gave me a license to sing the blues. Because it took me 7 years to save the money to take the shot. Of gigging, playing bar rooms, and saving a few bucks here and a few bucks there, just to pay the musicians and for the session times. It took me 7 years to put the money away, and then all of a sudden my masters got absconded by a law firm that got tied up for 22 years. Finally, Paul Rothchild's son mailed them back to me and put this beautiful love letter in there saying that I'm really sorry this happened, Lefty. My father didn't mean to get sick. It wasn't his fault, and here's your masters. You can do anything you want with them. So of course I sent him back a love letter thanking him profusely, 15 times, and then said, it's perfect, Danny. I said, it's just in time for a convalescent home tour. I'm so old now. The only thing I can do is play convalescent home. But it really it nixed my chance of having a career.
That just stinks. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Well, you can say it. Just it's one of those things where they say shit happens. And that's what happened. Excuse my English, but
no.
It's just it's just one of those things where But I never quit. I never got bitter about it. I'm very thankful that because life's been okay. My production company got very successful, and I lived a normal life. I didn't, the people that get famous sometimes have, they have a tough time with it, and I sometimes think that maybe it was best that I didn't get real famous because. You see those guys and they get divorced 2 or 3 times, or they have to go to rehab, or they just can't handle the fact that they can't go to McDonald's. They can't do anything.
Right.
So it's one of those things where what I've enjoyed my whole life is having a great band. Having the best guys in the Northeast always showing up to play with me, and always going out when I do go out with a great band. And I've always felt really good about that.
That's got to be gratifying. That's what a gratifying. True artist wants, right?
And it's always, and then I've learned how to never be late. Because that's about the only thing you can do to screw up something that's this wonderful.
Yeah.
If as long as you're on time, and and then I learned how to, respect my audience and respect the stage, and try to get dressed every night, and be respectful to my audience and respectful to my band. And, I'm just so thankful that I'll be 60 in January, and I'm still getting to do, something that I love more than anything.
Well, I'm going to test your memory at your aged, advanced years. Because I'm scratching my head trying to remember a gig in particular. There was one night when Dan Aykroyd was in Boston. He was filming Celtic Pride. And I know Matt was playing the Old House of Blues in Cambridge. And the preceding night, Ian Moore was at the House of Blues, and Aykroyd showed up, and he said, "Come back here tomorrow, kid." So I went back, and Aykroyd sat in with Matt. But I couldn't remember if you were backing Matt that night or if it was a different band. Do you remember?
I think I wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
I think Matt had a singer that night, and it wasn't me, but I did have a nice evening with the Shaboo All Stars with Dan Aykroyd at the Lone Star in New York.
Oh, that must have been fun.
And that was right after the movie. And then, just 5 or 6 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago now, I got to play Danny Aykroyd's 50th birthday party.
Oh, really? Wow.
At the Mohegan Sun Casino. And they, because I've been the house band there for so many years, they said, well, just give it to David. He's tied in with all those Blues Brothers guys. Let him do the party, And then Danny found out, he goes, yeah, let Lefty do it. He's great, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they gave me a really nice budget. And I had my big 14-piece orchestra, the Mohegan Sun All Stars there. And I had Mike Finnegan on organ. I flew him in from L.A., and then Elvin came and played. I had Cotton come in. I booked Pine Top Perkins to play piano.
Ridiculous.
I booked, who else was on it? Jeff Pevar from CSNN came to play.
Oh, yeah, I know Jeff.
I mean, just, and then all the Aykroyd people showed up to his birthday party, like Paul Schaefer, Peter Wolf shows up, Steven Tyler shows up.
Yeah, James Montgomery was there. Yeah, I've seen pictures of
Simpson. So they're all on stage with my band. And, I got about 25 pieces on stage. And the party's just ripping at the casino. And all of a sudden, Stevie Tyler's next to me. So I go, Stevie, you don't remember me, do you? And he just looks at me and goes, no, I don't remember you. So I said, I'm Lefty. He goes, Lefty from Shaboo? And I went, yeah. He goes, what happened to your hair? I said, Stevie, that was 40 years ago. He played my place in 1971. I'm bald. I'm 40 years older. We haven't seen you in 40 years. I mean, I've seen you. We just haven't, I went to see your concerts, but I mean, we never got to actually see each other. He goes, Lefty, this is on stage. He goes, I put you in my book.
Oh, that's funny.
Everybody about this, that was the first place they ever played Dream On was at Shaboo.
No kidding.
1971.
Oh, my gosh.
They showed up at my place. They were the second band I had the second week I was open. And they had a school bus, and they were singing Rolling Stone covers at the time. They weren't signed yet.
Who opened the joint?
I opened it with my own little band at the time.
Yeah.
And then Montgomery played the third week.
Nice. And were you doing week on, residencies? Is that what you were generally doing?
I was doing, what was I doing? What?
Like a residency every week. You'd have a band.
I'd have different bands there. I had a full schedule booked every weekend. There was stuff that we booked, but we wanted to open the club because it was our club,
Sure.
We had a band and we wanted to have our own club. So, but I mean, it was, it was just a big success from the first weekend we opened, and Aerosmith was the second weekend. I booked them for 4 nights, and it was $1 to get in, and we bought you the first drink. And it was 1971, and I paid them $700 for 4 nights.
That's about what people are getting in clubs now, anyway.
Yeah. Well, for 1 night.
For 2 nights.
Right, I was paying them that for 4. And
I know it.
Them up because we had apartments over the Shaboo. So I put them all up. I took care of their lodging, so they loved it.
Yeah.
And Stevie loved it. And but anyway, so he put me in this book. So I said, he goes, I put you in my book. He was hugging me on stage after he found out it was me. And it was really funny, And then, Peter Wolf was going, I remember you, Lefty, Then all of a sudden, I'm on stage with all these people, And it was Danny's birthday party. And all the comedians were there. What's the guy's name? The guy that was in Caddyshack that was blowing up all the...
Oh, Murray. Tim.
Yeah, Murray was there. He loved the band. But, I mean, it was just, So I had a couple of nice moments with Dan Aykroyd with our band, and then I had when Keith Richards came to play with us in New York. That was huge. That ended up in Rolling Stone magazine, and
wow.
We were getting written up every day in the New York Post, and then and then we were doing Delsner was booking us all over New York, and we were opening stuff for like at his big club at the time, opening shows for Soupy Sales. And, I mean, she was just putting us on all kinds of stuff because we were like the rage in New York in 1980 for about 2 months. So I mean, it was like we had a couple of shots where we got really, really close, to becoming a force.
Yeah, you could smell it.
Even though it didn't happen, it was just something where we've dealt on reputation for the last 30 years. I mean, we do have a good reputation as far as being a players band. And always delivering a nice show to people, and keeping a high level of integrity in the music. So.
Well, I can tell you, when I first started going to blues clubs, Harper's Ferry was near my college campus, and I know you took the paint off the wall in that place a few times.
A bunch of times we did. I remember that, and I still have a few of the blue sweaters that says Jonathan Swift's in my in my little rock and roll drawer where I had saved all my T-shirts and my sweaters and my this and my that and all the mementos. And, And it's funny when you go, check them out every 2 or 3 years. You go look through all your T-shirts and you remember each joint. But Boston, that's right. That was a great place to play.
Bunratty's was right down the street, and Night Stage, and I'm sure you did them all.
Jonathan Swift's Night Stage, we did them all. I mean, and it's so neat that you came to see us, and I just wish we could have met then.
I fondly recall one night seeing Matt there, and I had a compilation from I probably shouldn't mention the label. And Mr. Murphy, can you please sign this for me? And I'm like 18 with my fake ID, with all the bikers around me in Harper's Ferry, and I hand my hero the CD, and he goes, "Oh shit!" Like, what? It's like, I haven't seen an effing dime from this record. When did they put this out? And I'm like,
one of those bad record deals.
You'd be surprised who put it out. Because it's someone who was notorious for taking care of the Blues Cats. A guy from Austin.
Antone.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but it was an Antone compilation.
Oh, boy.
And Matt was like, "Oh, nobody even told me they put this on here, man. I haven't seen a dime from it."
Well, we all know what happened to Clifford Antone anyway, so...
Convicted? But yeah, he was convicted, wasn't he?
Yeah, his karma wasn't exactly stellar.
Oh, well.
He wasn't exactly a paragon of satirical elegance.
No.
But anyway, he did have a hell of a club down there, though. I remember that. And I remember that he used to book, like, Maceo Parker by the week, and Maceo used to get down there and play all week, and, of course, all the great blues bands played there. And I ran up on him when Cotton opened his club in Chicago. Clifford Antone came to the opening.
Yeah.
He was quite a character, yeah.
I never met him, but I did do some summer classes at UT Austin and hung out in the joint quite a bit. So I loved it, but I felt bad.
One thing, he was in a great town, wasn't he?
Oh, for music, you go out every night of the week and something special. Yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't be a better place to go live, to hear music. Austin's something. And then when they do that Austin City Limits Festival every summer, that's just magnificent.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all good, but, I mean, it's really nice to talk to a blues lover on the phone here.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see you. I'll have to duck backstage and introduce myself. This Saturday, it's the 15th, Blue Ocean Music Hall. I believe it's an 8 o'clock start. Is there...
Beautiful music hall up there. I hear it's a beautiful place.
Perfect sound, the best staging in New England.
Yeah.
My wife wants to move in there because she loves the ocean, and the whole one side of the club is picture windows. So if you get there before the sun goes down, you watch the sun go down over the ocean, and yeah, it's very romantical. So bring a date.
Oh yeah, and if there's any of our old friends up there in the Boston listening area up there from the Shaboo All Star days and Matt Murphy days, we'd love to see you come out. We feel bad that we're not coming into town, but we're just trying to hit the outskirts on this first thing. Create a little buzz, and then maybe on the next run come back in and play the cities.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just excited to see Matt, and from the photos I've seen, he looks so happy to be out playing again, and I can't thank you enough as an old friend backing him and allowing him to enjoy this time in his life.
Well, you know what? I mean, he was like a dad to me, and he taught me how to do the road. He taught me. He built the name of my band. I mean, it was him single-handedly. So I feel like anything that I can ever do, at his stage of his life now, where he could use a little help, and I'm just so happy that I can make him put a smile on his face and put some money in his pocket. I'm sharing my money with him, and we're just going out. We're just doing a little kind of blues patrol kind of thing, and you can see every night he's playing more and more every night, having more and more fun. And I'm taking really good care of him. I just went and got him some gumbo. He's over at my guest house, but
nice.
We bring him gumbo soup and different kinds of fish every night, and then we're on the bus. So as soon as he gets done with the show, we put him in a bunk, and all right, Matt, go to sleep now because we got a long ride home. So we're trying not to wear him out, and he appreciates it, and he's so beautiful and so mellow. I mean, He's a sweetheart, and every night he's going, Lefty, this band is so good. So and he's happy, he's having fun.
That's good. Well, if he likes good barbecue and soul food and stuff, I got a buddy who owns a blues club and barbecue joint. We comp them in; they'll probably bring more barbecue than the whole outfit could eat.
Is that near Salisbury, you mean?
They're in Brighton, Smoking Joe's Barbecue. I used to be the talent buyer there. But we bring Cotton's band in there every time they're in town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they won't not come to Boston and not go anymore. Wow. They go on the way to Logan Airport or, from Logan Airport to the gig. They stop in now and, yeah.
We're going to have to look you up if we book Boston. We're going to have to go to this place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, if you're not eating right, you're not doing anything right.
Amen to that. I can eat.
Well, great, man. We're going to get along great.
I love it, David. All right, man. I'm going to let you go and relax.